it's Jessica.
And Robert.
With Exploring the Local Life. Today we were going to talk about what it's really like.
Gonna get down.
It's gonna get real up in here. I should edit that out, but I probably will leave it because it's so stupid. We're going to talk about what it's really like living in 26 feet of awesomeness.
Being two adults living with two children.
Two small children, 4 and 7. This episode of Exploring the Local Life is brought to you by RVwithme.com. They connect RVers and landowners. RV owners can enter their desired destination and a list of nearby locations will appear. Landowners or RV park owners can list their sites and have RVers find them. That's RVwithme.com. The first thing that we wanted to address was loudness. So, children, for the most part, are not quiet.
No, they're going to be partying it up whether or not you want them to.
And that is normal.
Yeah.
But then take all of that same energy and loudness and stick it into 26 feet, which actually there's less because we have a whole bunch dedicated to a master room. And then we have the back end dedicated to the kids' bunks.
Yeah, and the kids don't hang out in my room too much unless they want to wrestle me.
Right, so we're all here in this little living space, all trying to do our own thing. They are in here with us now, and they're being quiet because they're both playing on computers.
This will not last.
It will not last. It usually doesn't, which is fine. But yeah, so I've been on the phone before, and I've actually had a friend go, "Is it always that loud in there?"
And it can be.
And yes, it pretty much is. The only time that they're quiet is if for the little time that they're on their computers, or if they're building Legos, or if they're asleep. Outside of that, it's pretty much constant.
Yeah,
constant
and
noise.
you might say that, oh, well, of course you're living in a small space, but you would expect some periods that everybody is quiet, but if they're on the computer, that's quiet, but then in a second somebody's going to ask us to do something, say something, see something.
Yeah.
So it's a reality that if you're in this space and you have kids, you're going to have more of your kids in your face and space.
Yes, and that's fine with us, but that is a consideration, and it is a real, a reality of, if you're in a big house with lots and lots of space and you can't deal with the noise when they're on the other side of the house, don't live in an RV. You're not going to make it.
Okay, so the next section is about romance.
Wait, maybe we should do that one outside. Wait, we're going to pause it. We're going to go outside real quick, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so the second thing, we're out here being stealth so the kids don't hear our secrets.
But our neighbors might.
And our neighbors are out too. About romance in the RV.
Yeah, it can be done.
It's complicated.
Yeah. One of the situations we have is that Nadia likes Jessica to sleep with her at night.
Right, so there's not always that advantage of just being snuggled together in the master room together.
So when we do have an opportunity, we have some things we got to do to take advantage of that time.
Yeah, so we have to have a plan. Texting one another, "Are you awake? Are you awake?" Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the other person falls asleep. But anyway, the main thing about our RV in particular, there's basically like 2 rooms with doors. The bathroom, not romantic, and the master bedroom, romantic. However, none of these doors lock.
No.
So you have to, and we have found ways of basically jamming the doors shut.
Yeah, the master bedroom has 2 sliding doors, and they're pocket doors. So we find a way to get the briefcase out, get some pillows out.
Something, shove a bunch of clothes, bed
sheets. We'll give you those critical few seconds, just in case somebody comes a-knocking.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So what do we do to...
Anyway, so we've got, those are some things that we take advantage of. Also, the AC unit and the dehumidifier are pretty loud.
Yeah, so it's one of those tap, get the air
Make sure it's really cold
going
so
for the
the
coldness.
air keeps
We're going for absolute
going.
0 to keep it going.
Yeah, and then also, make sure everybody has snacks and Netflix on and...
Whatever they want. Here's the remote control. Go for it.
And, I know it's ridiculous, but you gotta... I've heard of people taking rolls of coins and sending their kids to, like, the arcade.
Yeah, so tips.
Just to get that...
Whatever the kids like to do.
Yeah.
So if there's something in your RV park that the kids can go out and do safely by themselves, or if they have, a friendly neighbor with their kids.
Some people send their kids to the playground, things like that.
Yeah. And if you're lucky enough to have other adults that, they understand your situation and they're willing to look after your kids for, an hour or 5.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's complicated.
Yeah.
But you got to get it done.
It's got to happen.
Oh, my mom and dad aren't watching this one.
So another reality of RVing with kids is toys. Kids are going to have toys. They need to have toys. As adults, we have our own little gadgets that we like, but kids are going to want everything. And since they're young and working on experiences, they're going to want to keep everything they own.
Yeah, and Envision, we had in our old house, we had an entire room dedicated to them for play. It was their playroom.
Whether they used it or not.
They used it all the time.
How was it work?
Okay, they used it all the time. It was like Lego City and like all kinds of stuff everywhere. Just everywhere all the time. And so we had to basically take all of that and downsize it into an RV. We got rid of a whole bunch of stuff. We did keep the Legos. Legos are fabulous for any type of play, but they fit nicely in an RV. You can put them in some sort of bin that'll fit magically in one of those storage areas. And they're easy to clean up, and you can play inside and outside with those. So definitely keep your Legos if this is something that you need to do.
And sweep your Legos up at night so that you don't step on them.
Or pick them up and put them back, whatever. But yeah, just like our toy room was, our playroom was basically a disaster most of the time. So is the inside of our RV, because they take stuff out. And if I'm not paying attention or Robert's not paying attention and we're trying to have a conversation, we turn around before we know it. Every single toy that they own in the RV, which isn't a lot, but again, we're talking a little space, it's ridiculous. We can't even walk around in it.
Yeah, and for me, I'm very much, when I get home, just because on the computer, the kids have been playing all day long and there's nowhere for me to sit. So that's one thing that I've tried to be more cognizant of, is if I need the space, I'm just going to bulldoze things over, because the kids are not going to care that I'm bulldozing their toys into another area.
Yeah, and just like with a house, when you've got lots of bins, hopefully, that you just sort of like at the end of the day when it's like, oh my gosh, or you went in to make dinner and you come back and everything's a disaster, just take all that stuff and stick it in a storage bin, some sort of bin. And that's what we do here too. We have lots of bins.
What are you screaming?
Probably, that's why we're out here.
Let me check.
Talking about that loudness. All right.
Don't nobody go nowhere.
I'm gonna keep talking?
Keep talking.
Okay. And they do have every single stuffed animal that they did have when we were in a house. And basically what we do is they sleep with them in their little bunks. And I do have a shopping bag, and every now and then I trade them out. So that way they have plenty of room still in their bedrooms, but they still have their stuffed animals, and we didn't have to get rid of any of them. We have dedicated 2 areas of the pantry for them. And then we have bins also in their areas, in their sleeping areas, where all their toys go.
All right, something new that just kind of have started as part of our RV life. If you're interested in getting a little bit more involved in what we are doing and look to provide us some more support, we started Patreon.
And to get behind the scenes footage, to get exclusive content, and
maybe
exploring the local life swag.
Look us up on Patreon. We're going to have a link in the video here,
yes,
or here,
or in the description. I almost fell backwards. In the description.
Yeah. And so again, with Patreon, you get to see some behind the scenes stuff. We're going to be uploading Patreon exclusive content that'll be on Patreon, yes, ahead of other outlets, whether it's YouTube, and my hand will go down to my side.
Yes. And another thing though, for those of you who are like, great, so you guys want to pay us you want us to pay you for whatever, we will always provide free content here on YouTube. We will answer all of your comments. All the different social media, we will always have free things for everybody.
Yeah, the Patreon is for folks that want to get involved in a different way.
We have had people that have been like, oh, we wish there was some way that we can contribute to something for you. This is that. That is what we're answering for those specific folks that have reached out to us and want to do that.
If not, ignore.
Yeah, if not, no worries. We still love you. We still appreciate everything you're doing every time you watch, subscribe, share, all of that, and comment. That will never change.
All right.
So that's it about living with children. Well, that's not all, but that's what we're going to cover in this video. The loudness, romance, and toys.
So thanks for watching again. Thumbs up, subscribe. Take a look on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
All of it. We're on all of them. All right.
Almost all. Pinterest.
See ya. Oh, yeah, we're not on Snapchat or anything like that. All right,
I don't know what to do with
goodbye. I don't know
Snapchat.
what
Any
that
young
is. I
people
don't know
out there
what
that can
is.
do a
Yeah,
video
any
on how to
people?
do
All right,
Snapchat?
goodbye.